We're live. Hello, everybody. I'm just wondering who's out there that is not living their purpose, where they get up every day with super excitement and can't wait to get going and start manifesting their life. Or maybe you're a couple and you're growing apart and you don't have that bond anymore, but you know in your heart you still love that person. Well, guess what? I got my buddy here, Debra Stangl. I don't even know how many years we've known each other. Maybe 10, 15?
Yeah,
Wow, guys.
it's something like that. It's a lot.
Isn't that amazing? So we're here to talk about she runs retreats in Arizona, and why would someone want to go to a retreat, and what is the benefit, mind, body, and soul? We'll start there.
Well, our retreats are so special, Jenny, because we do work privately, one-on-one with individuals and couples. We don't do anything with groups. I went for years, I did group retreats, I did workshops, I did seminars. I'd feel a little better while I was there, and then I'd get home and nothing. And so I started coming to Sedona over 20 years ago when I was still a divorce attorney in Omaha, Nebraska. And when I came here for the first time, I was at the end of my rope. Every single part of my life was a mess. I was in an unhappy marriage. I was $50,000 in debt. I hated my work. I weighed 40 pounds more than I weigh now. And literally every part of my life was a mess. I came here and did one session, one-on-one, with an amazing practitioner who's here. And you know, Sedona is a mecca of New Age and transformational work. So I got the message in that session. I had to change my life. I went home. I spent 6 months closing my law practice. Started coming out to Sedona for 3 years, working one-on-one with different practitioners that I was finding here. And then 2 weeks before 9/11, I was here doing a session and got the message I was supposed to move here. Had no idea why. Moved here 6 months later, started dreaming about this and seeing that working one-on-one in private sessions with these amazing people who were able to take me from where I was to where I wanted to be is what had worked for me. So I started Sedona Soul Adventures 17 years ago, and we do retreats that are custom designed for each individual or each couple. Individuals that come to us are typically people who are either in overwhelm in their work, or they feel like they're not living their life purpose, or they don't know what their life purpose is, or if they do know what their life purpose is, they don't know how to move into doing that. And then with the couples that we work with, a lot of them are in crisis. They've had like an affair happen or something like that. Or worse, they're just drifting apart. Like you were saying, you know, you love this person, but the juiciness is gone. The oomph isn't there. And so we're just masters at bringing people back together. So the bottom line for everything that we're doing is, you know, I love the name of your podcast, because what I know, and what I know you know, is that what the quantum physicists are telling us, and what the yogis and the spiritual people have been telling us for centuries, is that everything is energy. And if everything is energy, that means that everything is much more malleable, much more changeable than we think it is. So that means that we can bring people here to Sedona, which has an energy that is unlike any other place on the planet. It's the energy specifically of transformation. We move out the old grunky stuff that is keeping people stuck, keeping people out of love, out of connection. And then we move them into the energy of connection and bring them into connection on all the levels: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. So then when you're operating like that, which I call operating on all four burners, when you're operating like that, everything is fantastic. you then know what you're like. You're living in connection, so you know all the time what's going on. You know what you should be doing. You know what the next step is. You know who are the people in your life who are helping you and adding to your life. You know who the people are in your life that are not doing that. And you always know what the next step is because you're listening and connecting and being in that knowing all the time. So that was a very long answer.
No, I love it because that's what this is about. It's a conversation. And yes, once you understand, I laugh when I see like Facebook posts, scientists have discovered that the quantum physicists are right. It's like, yeah, feng shui, 6,000 years. Rule number one, everything's energy. Rule two, intentions foremost. That kind of sums up in a nutshell what we're talking about. Um, it's so great to have a place, especially Sedona. Many wild things have happened for me, magical time travel things.
Oh,
The
yeah.
energy is awesome, and it doesn't matter whether you believe or not. It changes you and you feel it. To me, it's such a higher vibration. It's easier to shift because once you feel what it's like to be in the flow and be happy, you're like, I've been doing this. I've been attracting all this.
Right.
And
Exactly.
everybody wants you to do everything alone. Everything's an online course. Read this, and you need connection. That's what it's all about, right?
Exactly. And we are helping people have that feeling of connection usually for the first time in their life. They typically have never felt, and what I call it is literally a connection to the divine, to that highest part of yourself, to that part that literally does connect with the divine, with the universe, whatever you want to call it. So that's what we're doing here. The process that we use of moving out the old gunky energy that's in there, because we've all got it.
And you have to get rid of it. There's
totally. And just reading about that doesn't get rid of it. Thinking about it doesn't get rid of it. You have to do things that are literally moving that energy out of all of the areas of you, again, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. Then when that old gunky stuff is moved out, then we use processes that are designed to literally make that connection up to the divine. And when people feel that and feel how real it is, that's the most wonderful part. To understand that it isn't something that you're just reading about or talking about, it's real. And when they feel that, and then we can teach them and give them tools for going home and continuing to do this over and over and over again. It's so real and so wonderful.
So let's talk a little bit about one of your tools, meditation. Very, very powerful, because I think I met you right when you went through the shift and wrote your book and had everything just change. Because I felt bad. I was like, man, that lady really has everything bad going on in her life, you know?
Oh, good, man. No, I actually met you even before my book came out. No, I've known you since even then. But yeah, no, I mean, literally, yeah, every part of my life was a mess, for sure.
But when you hit rock bottom, you have one way to go. And that's where you start looking for the personal development tools. Because that's really what this podcast is about, is getting people on that have already had the success so that they're telling their truth. Because that's what we're here to do. That anyone can do this, right? Anyone can find their purpose and passion and truth and be happy.
Absolutely. And I mean, and it becomes magical. See, that is the thing. That's the thing that makes it the hardest, because it is so real. But when it happens, it is so magical. And so those are the things that have happened in my life, where when I've finally been able to go into that space, and each time it was a space that I would call a meditation space, absolutely magical things have happened. The first one was when I get the message when I'm in Sedona, I've got to leave my law practice. I'm $50,000 in debt. I'm the sole support of me and my husband. We're $50,000 in debt because of business debts from my ex-husband that I was responsible for. And I'm like, how in the world am I going to ever leave my law practice when I'm $50,000 in debt? I have no money in the bank. And I went into this space about just a few weeks after I got back, because I tried for 2 weeks to figure out with my lawyer brain how I would possibly, and of course that doesn't work.
It doesn't work at all.
There was this one day where suddenly I just went into this space and I felt this feeling, and it was the same feeling that I had felt when I was in Sedona. And I said, God, I know I have to do this, and I'm going to do it. I don't know how, but I'm going to do it. I've got to have some help. And within a few hours, I got a phone call from one of my former clients. He tells me he just bought a business refinancing mortgages. I give him my address, asking him if he can get my mortgage payment reduced. He calls me back in 10 minutes and says, I can get your mortgage payment cut in half. And I can get you $50,000 in cash. And I'm like, what? So literally this thing that had been on my shoulders for 5 years was gone within hours of me just turning it over. The same thing with my weight. I struggled with my weight from the time I was 8 years old. I grew up as a dancer, my body constantly criticized, always on diets, yo-yo dieting. We all know how that works. I was on yet another crazy diet with crazy exercising. And I got into this space where all of a sudden I went and got into bed and I started vibrating so much that I couldn't move. And all of a sudden I heard this voice saying to me, nothing is wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with you. Nothing is wrong. And then they were showing me in every area of my life how nothing was wrong, and including showing my body and showing that nothing was wrong with my body. I got out of bed and I went, okay, I'm done. I'm done with the crazy dieting. I'm done with the nutty exercising. I'm going to eat what I want. I'm just going to stop fighting my body. And literally 5 weeks later, I go shopping for a new pair of jeans and I suddenly discover I've dropped from a size 14 to a size 6. I go home, I weigh myself. I dropped 40, I can verify 40 pounds. I think it was more like 50 if you look at the pictures, but I can verify 40 from going into this space of loving my body rather than hating it. So that's the energy of when we drop the resistance, when we go into connection, that's when everything just comes.
So you were not a psychic or one of those people at all. You went to Sedona, you got shifted and started moving the junk, the stories, the paradigms, the crap you had believed and listened to other people,
Right.
and got into the collective and hooked into that crap too.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I came here as an attorney, okay? But then after being here, then I suddenly started realizing, and when I started coming back here and spending time here, I started realizing, whoa, wait a minute. I do know more, way more than I think I did. When I was an attorney, I always knew who was cheating, who was hiding money, I always knew something was going on, but I just thought I was smart. And
well, you are.
Well, but it wasn't but there's more that we all have.
So you, by stilling your mind in meditation, were able to get the messages, and then you took action. I mean, that takes a lot of trust in the universe to say, you know what, I'm just going to give all that up and I'm going to give in, because we fight all the time. And once you connect, that is when you're like, it's been so easy. I've been making it so hard.
Well, because this thing about leaving my law practice, I would meditate, I would pray, I would say, oh God, I'm so unhappy, tell me what to do. And I would hear this voice that would say, you need to leave your law practice for 5 years. And I would always say, I can't leave my law practice.
You were resistant.
How could I leave my law practice? I'm $50,000 in debt. Finally, when I came to Sedona and I did one session with an amazing practitioner, Ranjita, who's still a dear friend. She just was officiated at my wedding 2 years ago, and my one of my best friends. In this session that she facilitated, my high self came in and said, you either leave your law practice now or you're going to die like your mother did. I was exactly the age that my mother was when she got sick of cancer and died 5 years later. And that time I heard the message. And so it took me 5 years, just what you're talking about, 5 years of resisting. And the minute, which happened, just a couple of weeks later, the minute I went into the space of, okay, I'm going to do this. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it. And then that's when the 50.
Well, you asked too, is one thing.
True.
Because, the way I'm taught, like, that's why we talk to the angels or ascended masters every 24 hours, because you got to ask them. So we have a whole team up there waiting to help us. And they're like, come on, come on. And you're like, why is nothing working out for me? It's like, ask. So it was really, you went there and shifted. That's the big part. You had to shift because you were in that same energy. And it didn't matter if you read a book or you had to go shift.
I had read a zillion books.
Yeah.
I had done a million workshops. I had done a million conferences. I had done all the stuff and none of it had worked.
So what was the big shift that worked this time? Was it Sedona? Was it the person?
It was the combination of what I call the Sedona effect, okay? Mm-hmm. The combination of the incredible energy of Sedona, which is not like any other place on the planet, the amazing practitioners who are drawn here from all over the world to do their work. I have over 50 practitioners, and they're from all over, including Germany and Holland and England and South Africa, and of course from all over the United States. And then the energy that people bring here, the desire, like you're saying, the asking. So the combination, gosh, I'm just getting chilled saying this.
Open heart. I got them all over me too, girl.
So this combination of being in this energy in Sedona, working with these incredible people, and then the energy, the high energy that people bring, this desire, this wanting for the transformation, and like you said, the asking for it. That combination is just unbelievably powerful and amazing.
I just saw like the heavens just open up and they're like, oh, thank you. That's how easy it is.
It's been 17 years now. We've had over 9,000 people who have done our retreats, which is kind of amazing when you think about it. It's just one or two at a time. And I always go in to meet all of the clients, and there's sometimes when I'll meet them and I'll go, oh my God, I don't know what's going to happen this time. And then it always does. It's just, it's so absolutely amazing.
Is the biggest shift when they allow it? Is that when
they have to allow it? And almost everyone is completely blown away because most of the people that who come here are not into this stuff like you and I are, not to the stuff that you and I are, and that probably most of your listeners are. But that's the most wonderful thing, because for them to be able to have this experience when they're not expecting it, and they're just hoping to feel a little better at the end, and instead their life is changed. Or they come here and they come here. I mean, literally, we've had people come here who have already filed for divorce. And usually it's one of them saying, I'm done. I am completely done. And then all of a sudden, we bring them back into this space of just going into love. We don't have an agenda about keeping them together. Our agenda is just go into love. Just go into your heart. What's going on with you? What do you need? And then discovering the room that everybody has from their childhood and from all this other stuff, and going, well, wait a minute. This doesn't have to do with your husband. This has to do with something you have with your dad, with your mom, with a teacher, with a, and then suddenly they're all of a sudden looking at each other in this way of, oh my God, here's this person, and seeing that highest part of themselves, or even better, seeing that in themselves, because that's really the first thing that's happening, is that you're going back into connection with yourself, with that part of you that was never hurt, never wounded, that came in perfect and connected, and, and this little part of God on earth. And when you get back to that, when you feel that within yourself, oh my God, it's the most amazing, incredible thing.
What is your opinion about people that say they've tried law of attraction and it never works? Because I was listening to an expert on the chemicals and the emotions and the feelings and how that works. And
Right.
what he said was that they actually have got hooked into the feeling of it not happening. Like, let's say they wanted a partner really bad.
Right.
And they didn't get one because they weren't in alignment and they didn't understand that. So then they got hooked to the feeling of, oh, I do this and I'm never getting a partner. Let's talk about that a little bit, because I think that's happens to a lot of people. And I'm not just saying partners, I'm saying how law of attraction works.
It doesn't matter what you're talking about, money, body, it doesn't matter what you're talking about. The law of attraction does not work if all that you're doing is saying, okay, I want this, and you're expecting it to show up. That's not how it works. What we're talking about is you have to be in the energy and the vibration of the thing that you are wanting to attract. So if you are wanting a partner, which that was one of the things that was going on for me. I was single for 8 years, and I was doing all this stuff, and now as I look back, I understand that it had the timing, because it's all about timing as well. All about timing. I knew during that 8 years that I had to stay out of frustration. I had to stay out of, why isn't it happening? I had to stay out of, this isn't working. The minute you go into those energies, those vibrations, those emotions, it can't work. It's physics. It's physics. You have to be in the high vibration of the money. That's why when I went into that vibration that was like so close to the God vibration, that's when the money showed up. When I finally said, I'm going to stop hating my body, I'm going to start loving my body and just giving it what it wants. The minute I did that, 40 pounds.
Well, you tell your body you hate it every day. What's it supposed to look like? I mean, really, when you break it down, it's common sense.
Totally. So it's all about, that's why I talk about this. The name of my book is The Journey to Happy, and the subtitle is really the most important part. How embracing the concept that nothing is wrong can transform your life. Because if you can go into, okay, my body, all right, my body, there's nothing wrong with my body. My body gets me around. I have, my arms, my legs, all that stuff. The more that you can go into the love of it and the acceptance of it and not wanting to change it, that's the paradox. Everybody gets stuck in the part of, I want to change it. If you can find a way of figuring out the parts that aren't wrong, that's why I talk about people doing a gratitude journal. Every day, write 3 things that you love about your body. I have nice hair. I have nice eyes. I have nice skin. My legs work. My heart pumps. My kidneys work. All that stuff. If you can flip that switch into finding that place where nothing is wrong, even though your brain is telling you everything is wrong. Exactly. So it's all using your emotions. Your emotions are telling you where you are. If you're happy and content, it's closer and coming on its way. If you're upset and frustrated and angry, you are pushing it away from you and it can't come in. So that is the law. And people, there's just been so much out there that people don't get what the real law is. The law is you have to be exactly in love. You have to be in the high vibration of what it is you're trying to attract.
So how hard is that to try? Instead of look at all the negative, that's where you're focusing your energy. The key is love, isn't it? If everything comes from love, your heart opens up. Like every time I even just say that right now, I'm getting God bumps all over my body.
Yes.
And people are like, I remember when I'm like, how did she lose 50 pounds and not know it? Is it because you got out of your way and you stopped telling yourself that you weren't worthy and you were ugly and you were fat? And so your body's like, okay, because I don't know any better. That's what you're telling me. What you say is what you manifest.
Totally. And what happened was I totally dropped all the resistance. I had no thought about, will it go the other? I had no thought about what would happen, my rational mind would have probably told me, well, if you're going to eat In-N-Out burgers and chocolate cake, then you're probably going to gain another 100. That's what my rational.
Right.
But I stopped. I just went, you know what? I don't care. I'm just done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm just done. And so I just didn't think about it, and I just ate what I wanted. Now, when I look back on it later, I saw that before, if I decided to eat something, I would shove it all in and I would eat every single bit of it. Now I was just eating, I would stop once I was full, I would stop. And rather than, I just ate stuff I wanted to eat. And I just wasn't thinking. It's when you're doing that around everything, that's telling you you're not in the right place. When you come into dropping the resistance, feeling calm, just starting to feel calm. You don't even have to, don't think that you can go from upset to, you can't go from upset to high vibration in an instant. You gotta go up what Abraham calls the scale of emotion. So if you can just get yourself to go, you know what, I'm just not going to think about it anymore. I'm not going to worry about it anymore. I'm not going to think about it. I'm not going to worry about it. That's when you allow it to come in.
Can I talk about that sentence? Because I listen to Abraham every single day when I'm driving, and they do go up the scale. Exactly. And one thing that made me feel really good is everyone kept telling me not to be angry. Well, I was in depression, so anger was a step up for me. They should have been praising me. So then I went back into depression, and then I felt guilty for being angry. You know, I was dealing with life. So I recommend everybody listen to that or read that book, because it talks about one step up until you get to joy and happiness. And that's how you manifest, right?
Exactly. Totally. Exactly.
So it seems common sense, but if you're thinking bad thoughts, and I remember, I think it was Natalie Ledwell said, what you think about is what you get. And she was talking about her relationship with her husband. They're still business partners, but it got to the point that she would just think everything he does bothers me. And it got to the point she couldn't even stand the way he would breathe. So, I mean, think about this, people. All you have to do is shift and look for the good. Because somebody irritates you, what does that mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So let's talk a little bit more about your Sedona Soul Retreat, because just going to Sedona, fun, all kinds of great stuff going on. I love the rock and mineral shows there. Okay, so if somebody wanted to go to Sedona Soul Adventures, let's just say they go online, they find you, they book a session. How does the flow go? What are they in for?
What happens, and this is the most important part, they contact us and we spend a whole lot of time talking to them or both of them for a couples retreat before they even come. And all of I call them my angel guides. I was the original angel guide. I now have 7 other people that do this. And I don't do it anymore because I'm managing the company. But our angel guides are very intuitive, and they spend time talking with you, really digging deep into what's happening, what's going on, what do you want to have happen. They're also very intuitive, so they're very good at getting underneath what people are saying, because very often people don't even know what's going on. So they know. And so then they're talking to people and saying to them, okay, here's what's happening, here's what I'm seeing. So then from that, they put together a retreat that's custom designed.
Wow.
And we require individuals to be here 3 full days, not counting their travel time. For couples, it's 4 days. Most people are here 5 or 6 days. That's what's really perfect, if you can take a week and come here. And then the retreat has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And the first part is usually informational, and we have all kinds of ways of getting in, doing different types. We have 4 different types of astrology. We do have a lot of people who are into the readers who are incredible. We also, with our couples, what's amazing is we do a process that's over 4,000 years old, designed to really get at what do you need? What do you need in a relationship? And then and then when we're doing this session, it's all about, okay, here's what she needs, and here's what he needs. Okay, are you willing to give him what he needs? And are you willing to give her what she needs? So the first parts of the retreats are typically informational. The next parts are the getting rid of the gunk. And we just generically call that emotional clearing, but I have over 50 practitioners. Most of them do at least 2 different modalities. So we literally have everything here. So some people, almost everybody has some sort of issue around, I'm not good enough, I'm not enough, there's something wrong with me. Almost everybody I've ever met,
I'm not worthy.
I'm not worthy, has that showing up, but it shows up in different ways for everybody. And it manifests in different ways. With some people, it comes out as anger. For other people, it comes out as depression. For other people, it comes out as anxiety. The way that it came in is different for everybody. The way that it's showing up is different for everybody. So then those sessions, and we usually have people do 1 or 2 of those sessions, moving out this old funky stuff. Then the next step, every person that comes, I am an incredible believer in breath journeys, in breath work.
Yes.
The work of I first studied with Sandra Ray. I started doing breath work in 1989, and I find it the most transformational, incredible. And so everyone, unless it's contraindicated, we have breath work as a cornerstone of every retreat. So by the time they're doing the breath work, we've moved out, we've given them a lot of information, and including we use things like the Enneagram. That's another thing that really helps, especially for people. I'm an 8 on the Enneagram, so I'm an anger person like you. So, learning to be with my anger and loving my anger. That's the biggest thing, is loving it. So,
yeah, don't go into guilt, then you just go farther down the scale.
Totally.
See, thank you so much for stating that, because guess what? Sometimes you have to get that out, and that's anger. That's what does God do? That's thunder and lightning. He's getting out the universal stuck energy.
When I finally really got into that, when I finally did the Enneagram and saw that I'm wired for this, I'm wired for anger, it was so liberating. And I realized that so much of my life force has been from that. So much of the stuff that I've done in my life, it's been from that. So when you can embrace it, it's like everything we've been talking about. If you push it away, if you hate it, it gets bigger and worse and more out of control. When you embrace it and understand, oh my God, this is a big, huge part of how I'm wired. Okay, so that's
the best thing to know. I'm going to tell you that, because mine is anger in feng shui, and it's frustration in human design. And once I understood that, it's like, you know what? First of all, I should have been Italian, because you never get in trouble for being passionate when you're Italian. But as a German, it's like, shame on you. You need to calm down.
I know. Of course, I'm German too. But and the funny thing was, when I finally got that, it made me way less angry.
Yeah, me too. Oh, okay, it's just me.
And it's so now, most of the time now what happens is I just go, oh yeah, I'm getting pissed off again. Oh, all right, I see what that is. So, okay.
Well, interesting, Deborah, is I'm an ox and a Taurus, so double bull.
Right. And
my chart has 2 ox and 2 dragons. So it's like, guys, I'm exactly who I'm supposed to be. So if you want me to be a quiet buttercup,
right,
it's not happening.
It's so funny. When I went to college when I was 18, I went to a Chinese restaurant for the first time, and I saw the calendar thing that said 1952, Year of the Dragon. I'm like, oh, I'm a dragon. All right. So then all these years I was a dragon. I had all this dragon stuff, and I was an attorney, and I was, I had all this dragon stuff around me. My 50th birthday, one of my friends here in Sedona says to me, now, what are you? And we're talking about Chinese astrology. I said, I'm a dragon. He said, are you sure your birthday's in January? And it doesn't.
Oh, you're on that cusp. You were not.
I look it up. I'm a freaking bunny.
And that makes way more sense. Gathering people together, hopping around happy. You know, it's so funny, guys. Please don't pay attention to the placemats. Anybody in January and February, you're probably not who you think you are. And you're like, well, you're trying to find those traits, and you're like, I don't get it. It's like, yeah, 'cause it's not you. You're not in alignment. Okay.
So I'll go back to the retreats.
Yeah.
So by the time people have done the breath work, we've moved out that we've given them information about stuff that's going on with them and that has gotten them to where they are. And then we've done these sessions to move out this gunky old stuff. Then they do the breath work. And for almost everyone, they go into this incredible transcendent experience that is possible. But also at the same time, the breath work is moving out other old energy. It's doing so much stuff. But for most people, they are having the first transcendent experience that they've ever had in their life. And so that is just a game changer. And they're seeing their life from a different perspective. They're seeing themselves with more compassion. They're seeing their partner with more compassion. They're seeing the whole world with more compassion. Then after that, we do a minimum of another session to really cement in that transformation. And then along the way, we have people who want to do meditation things. They want to go out on the land. They want to connect with the vortex energy. Of course, we do all different types of body work and massage, which really is continuing to help all of that. And then the very last session is called intuitive integration. And it's all about, how do I take this home? How do I integrate this into my life? Because that is the most important thing.
It is.
We want them to have a huge experience here, and everybody does. But the most important thing is for this to be really integrated and implemented into their life. So they make a plan in this last session of simple ways, not huge. You can't do huge. Nobody can do huge in their life. It has to be, what are these simple things that if I do them consistently, will not only maintain what I got here, but have it continue to deepen. And then after they go home, we do 2 coaching sessions with them on the phone. Good. And then we offer additional coaching after that, but they have a minimum of 2 after they get home. And then we make it very inexpensive, very easy to do, because again, that ongoing contact and just doing a little bit, it's like brushing your teeth. You just got to do a little bit every day. And that maintains everything.
It's like you got to do it by yourself, but you can't do it alone.
Exactly.
You have to do the work, but you need that support. And that's where I find what is missing in all these coaching programs and retreats is you're expected to go and do everything yourself. You don't get to talk to anybody. And then you go home and you're like back in that same energy and you're like, fail. So that's why people fail, and they don't fail with yours because you have the 3-step process. I like getting the junk out because people are trying to raise their vibe and they have all these stories and all this anger, and you can't be angry and be happy at the same time.
Well, and I can't believe the stuff that comes here of people who had this unbelievable stuff that happened to them as kids, and their parents just doing this because their parents were just so completely unconscious. That
they're sleeping. You're being raised by sleeping parents. Sorry, we're here for you.
And if a kid is told enough that there's something wrong with them, they take it on. They take it on completely. And
your computer.
If you haven't dealt with that, if you have this core belief, that's one of the most important sessions we do, called core belief transformation. And it's not just working on the mental level, it's working on all the levels: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. You've got to go in. If you're continually telling yourself that there's something wrong with you, you've got to change that. You've got to shift that. You're never going to be able to go into these higher vibrations if you've got that. If you hate yourself, if you really do believe at your core that there's something wrong with you, then you can never go into the self-love that's necessary for moving into these higher vibrations. Because like you said, it's all about love, and it starts with self-love.
And it's okay because your parents did the best they could, maybe. The school might have, everybody that gave you their input did the best they could. It's not your fault, but it's time to change because we have the tools, we have the people, and life is meant to be fun. And
Right.
that's what my whole goal is everything I read, and everything I listen to is about stop refusing the goodness, open up to allowing and be happy. So go
Exactly.
have fun and be creative. So
Right.
it's like everything I did as a kid that I got shut down for, I was in such connection all the time, happy. That's why kids are happy because they're still connected. They haven't been shut down.
Right.
Okay, so let's can I get the name of your book again for those listening, because
Yes.
maybe they can't go to the retreat right now, and the first step would be that book.
Yes, it's called The Journey to Happy, How Embracing the Concept That Nothing is Wrong Can Transform Your Life. So you can get it for 99 cents on Kindle, because I want as many people as possible to get the book. And the book has 9 different processes in it, all of which we do here at Sedona Soul Adventures, but things that you can start to do right now to start feeling better, because this is all about just starting to feel a little better. Because if you feel a little better, then you can feel a little more better, and then a little more better.
And
And it's about all the different areas of your life. Each chapter is on a different area of your life. And so get the book. If you like books, it's $9.99, so it's inexpensive, but you can get the Kindle version. And I actually love people to do the Kindle version because the book has videos. So if you're reading it on your Kindle app, and I want to make sure everybody understands, you can download a Kindle app for free on your phone or tablet or computer. A lot of people think you have to have an actual Kindle. You don't. The app is free, and the book has videos. So when you're reading the book on Kindle, you just push the button and the videos are right there.
Well, I'm going to go get that then because I like videos. I'm visual, but it's good to read and it's good to hear. It's, all those senses help me.
Exactly.
So you can, if you're interested, you can go hang out in Sedona and you will meet Debra. She's really fun. She's just like this. This is her true self. And why I love her so much is she is really, truly passionate about helping you. Yeah. Excuse me. That's what it's about, helping people. And that's what brings her joy in her heart.
And the whole thing for me is, if I can do it, because I mean, literally, I came from this place of everything being a mess. And then for a number of years, I did have this thing of like, I was reading Abraham and I believed it. And I thought, there's got to be a way of doing this. And I really feel like one of the things that we're doing here is, because I love Abraham Hicks so much, and you'll recognize that when you read my book. But part of the problem is that what they're saying to you is just stop it. Just stop it. Well, that's easier said than done. You have to have some tools. You have to have some ways of moving out the energy. So the thing for me is, if I can do it and come from the place where I did, of just being so miserable and so depressed and every part of my life being a mess, to come to the part of really understanding what it really truly means to have this connection, anybody can do it.
Anyone can do this. You are stopping yourself. So be responsible for your life and go be happy. Yeah. And I gave you 2 ways to do it. You can go to the retreat, or if you don't have the money right now, then get the book. Everybody can find 99 cents. Go dig in your couch. You'll find the coins and start with that. And that's going to make the shift so that then the money can come in and you can go do the soul retreat.
I can't tell you the number of times that people have called us, we put the retreat together, and they go, oh gosh, I don't know how I'm going to do this, and we say a prayer together with them, and then all of a sudden something happens. They get a check that they forgot about that was coming. All of a sudden their brother says, you know what, I think you need to do this. I'll pay for it. Or, we have had so many stories like that where people said, I don't know how I'm going to do this. And then it shows up.
The universe is conspiring for you. So get out of your own way. That's why I have Debra on here, because her story was big and bold. It was every area. It was health. It was wealth. It was love. It was her job. everything what she had manifested, what she didn't want. And now she's got a great guy, got this great retreat, goes on cruises, helping people around the world. So if you are ready to claim your life, get in touch with Debra, and you can get in touch with me and I'll get you in touch with Debra. Maybe I'll see you at the retreat. You never know. I've got to come visit. It's been way too long.
It's been way too long.
Guys, this is A World of Energy, and I'm Brenny Larson, your host. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you on the next podcast.
Love you, Brenny.
Love you.